Officials are still investigating what led to the death of a Utah college student, but the man accused of killing her is now behind bars. Mackenzie Lueck was last seen on June 17th around 3 a.m. On Friday, officials arrested a 31-year-old man in the case, and they say remains matching Lueck's DNA were found in his backyard. CBS News national correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has been following this story from Salt Lake City, and he joins me now from just outside of the suspect's home. Jonathan.
Yeah, good morning to you, Anne-Marie. The suspect here, Ayoola Ajayi, will be arraigned at some point later this week. As you mentioned, we're outside his home where the remains of Mackenzie Lueck were discovered last week and where there is this small memorial. Prosecutors are now combing through all of that evidence that was gathered by police here, but ultimately it's up to the DA to pursue the death penalty. All of this as we're learning more about the suspect's troubling past. Investigators spent the weekend gathering more evidence at the home of Ayoola Ajayi, who's expected to be charged with Mackenzie Lueck's murder.
There's extensive investigation follow-up that needs to be done, and we will proceed. I mean, it's not over right now.
Days earlier, they found Lueck's charred remains and belongings in Ajayi's backyard. Police say there is currently no other person of interest in the case. Still,
we want to know if he acted alone or if there were people that helped him along the way.
Police are also sharing details about Ajayi's past, including a rape accusation in northern Utah 5 years ago. The victim declined to pursue charges. A construction contractor has also come forward, saying he turned down a job from Ajayi back in April after Ajayi asked him for a soundproof room with hooks in the concrete walls and a fingerprint lock.
He was adamant about getting it done really fast, and money was no object.
Lueck was last seen on surveillance video at the Salt Lake City airport 2 weeks ago. Investigators say they used phone location data to place both Ajayi and Lueck in the park, where she was dropped off by a rideshare. Lueck was a senior at the University of Utah, majoring in kinesiology. In an online post, her sorority sisters said they're reflecting on the lasting impact she made on the lives of her family members, friends, and sisters. A memorial has gone up on campus.
This is just crazy. This is just crazy. And she didn't deserve it. Nobody deserves that, you know.
So we know that police had been looking into, what dating apps she was using. Clearly it was, as you mentioned, the cell phone location that put them in the same spot at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Yeah. But Jonathan, do we know whether or not the two knew each other?
Yeah, Anne-Marie, it's a good question, and it's one of the key questions in this investigation. As you mentioned, they did have some communication before meeting up. We know that they shared a number of text messages and also photos. Investigators spoke with Ajayi and found those photos on his cell phone. She was dropped off at the airport and arranged that meetup at that park where she then went missing. There are reports that they did meet online through an online dating app, and there are some unconfirmed photos out there, but at this point, it remains speculation. We have asked that question to police multiple times over the past week or so, and at this point, they will not confirm or deny the authenticity of those reports and all the photos that we've been seeing.
As I understand it, there's a vigil that's going to be scheduled for tonight. Do you know any more information about that you can tell us?
That's correct. Yeah, that's happening at the University of Utah. That is where Mackenzie was studying kinesiology and where she was part of a sorority. You heard it in the piece. She was part of this larger family of sorority girls, many of them stepping up immediately after she went missing to really bring this story into the spotlight and to get all the media attention that it ended up getting. You heard some of them describe just what kind of woman she was. She was not only a friend and somebody that treated everybody like family, but also a mentor to many of the students on campus. A lot of questions. You could imagine that it's going to be pretty emotional at the university later today as all of these lingering questions remain.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. This was already sort of a tragic story, and now it seems to be turning quite sort of dark and disturbing. Jonathan, thank you so much.